everyone, welcome back to Fraud on the Telly. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down everything that happened in episode 3 of Exandria Unlimited Calamity. An absolutely insane episode where lies and secrets are revealed, Aabria makes a choice that will change Critical Role forever, and I give you my theory on what the Betrayer Gods are up to in Cath Moira. As always, if you enjoyed the video and learned something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out our post-EXU Calamity reaction video we put out the other day, and let's get into it. After defeating Lycretia Hollow and managing to save a number of the arcane batteries that power the city, the Ring of Brass finally reconvene together. Patia and Nidus are attempting to search through the memories of one of the dead infernal wizards they defeated in combat to better understand what it is that Hollow and the Betrayers are planning. While they're waiting, Sarah asks Xerxes why he was speaking infernal to the devils they just fought. During the earlier battle, Xerxes spoke with an Laerryn, but he did not know that he was magically speaking in infernal. During the fight, the Laerryn stabs Xerxes and then flees, seemingly needing his blood for some purpose. You see, Patia then reveals that she has modified Xerxes' memory of a certain event that took place after Evandrin's death, and she was asked to do so by none other than Xerxes. Things are really starting to come together now. Secrets are really starting to come out. I feel like I was watching a game of Among Us watching this. After Evandrin mysteriously disappeared, Xerxes went to Patia, hoping there was a way to bring him back. Patia then would cast a powerful ritual of true resurrection, a spell powerful enough to bring back a mortal to life without any of their physical remains. However, the spell failed, leaving one obvious conclusion that I've been asking myself for a few episodes now. What if Evandrin isn't dead? No resurrection magic would work on him if he was in fact not dead, but alive somewhere. Under emotional distress, Laerryn, after protests from Sam's character Quay, decides to come forward with the truth regarding Evandrin. She tells them Evandrin had volunteered to participate in a test of her machine. She sent him to the celestial plane. He came back safe and sound until apparently he wasn't. Side note, I can't believe that my theory involving Sam's character's secret was kind of right in a way. Laerryn believes it was somehow the arboreal calyx and the tree of names' fault that this thing happened to Evandrin. While this is happening, Patia dives through the infernal mage's memories. They see Hollow speaking about Pervon, the Raven Queen's champion, saying they must prevent him from aiding what is to happen in Vasselheim. It seems as though they summoned Pervon to the city of Aabria with the complete intent of killing him. Now, if we put on our lore hats, we know that by modern day account, the calamity began when the Betrayer Gods led a surprise attack on Vasselheim. This seems to be the most obvious thing Hollow is referring to here, but with Pervon being saved, could this potentially change how the calamity would have played out? We learn that the mage from episode 1 that was disguised as the Hadmadad was tasked with obtaining Xerxes' blood. Obviously, though, he failed when Travis messed the guy up. They see another memory of Hollow talking to this mage, saying they must destroy the helmswoman because they must prevent them from reaching the Wild Mother's embrace, aka land. Something is wrong with this memory though. If they didn't want the city to reach the ground, why wouldn't they have killed this helmswoman earlier? And why would they be telling them this straight up? Why does Vespin Koras say to Travis's character Sarah, "You will never reach the Wild Mother's embrace in time"? Something doesn't add up here. They realize that this memory has been altered. They manage to delve deeper, seeing the true memory, and Hollow saying, "We must land before sunrise. The apogee solstice is the perfect time. Betrayers are coming here, and when they land in the city, glorious day." Now stay tuned, because later on I have a theory with what I think Lycretia Hollow is talking about here. Laerryn is now presented with a choice, one of many to come. If they stop the city in the air, they will use the power her machine would need to send them to another plane during this apogee solstice. Side note, I love how Aabria plays Laerryn, specifically in this episode. Her constant battle with her character's drive and ambition as the party makes decisions with major consequences is extremely intriguing and entertaining. I love it when a character and a player sticks to their character's guns and traits. Laerryn is a very ambitious, smart character. She believes she probably is the smartest woman in the room. She believes she knows what's best for her people. So watching her battle with this dynamic is super, super fun. However, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. The group head to the Arboreal Calyx minus Travis's character Sarah, who, angry at the lies and selfish actions his friends have taken, decides it's time he makes some selfish choices of his own as he heads off to secure his family's safety. The group enter the Calyx, to which they see the Tree of Names floating in the room. As they look at the tree, Quay notices something small with a red blinking light that seems to be stuck in the branches. It's Laerryn's toy, her little buoy that she somehow sent to another plane in the test run of her machine last episode. Somehow it has been caught and stuck in the branches of this tree. Laerryn theorizes that this must have happened to Evandrin. The tree must be somehow stopping him from completely returning to the material plane. She believes that it's the problem as she begins to cast the blight spell. However, Nidus stops her. He interjects, telling her part of the prophecy he heard last episode. Our hands cannot reach the limbs of the tree. It can no longer describe our deliverance. We will soon be as broken as our promises. Aabria shall fall. Now we'll come to know what specifically this prophecy means in a few minutes. Laerryn hears none of this though, as she sees in the branches of the tree the frightened face of Evandrin appear and disappear. Laerryn, further convinced that this is the right course of action, attempts to cast a spell as Nidus reaches a hand out to stop her. It's all popping off now, folks. We got ourselves some inter-party conflict. Nidus struggles to stop Laerryn, who is aided by her husband Quay. However, Nidus manages to get a hold person off, stopping both Laerryn and Quay for just a moment. During this time, Patia walks to the tree, touching it and casting legend lore. Her mind is suddenly filled with the visions of her grandfather, Amir Porco, the last person it seems to have touched this tree. Her grandfather is speaking to a druid asking what the purpose of the tree is. The druid says it is too dangerous to tell him, as the mages will attempt to use it for horrible ends. The rest of the party are struggling with one another when Dwemer, Laerryn's clockwork assistant, comes into the room. Seeing her master in trouble, the construct attempts to cast Disintegrate on Nidus. Thankfully, Xerxes counterspells this, because this potentially could have killed Nidus outright. Dunzo, no resurrection. Even though it seemed a bit likely, I think his HP was high enough. Quay runs to the tree, attempting to pull Patia from it. As he touches the tree, he is smacked with the vision. Suddenly, a gate opens. He sees the Feywild, his home. For him resides a beautiful Fey creature, an Archfey, the lord of his realm. They look to Quay, saying, "Child, something moves across the face of your world. Do not let her find the names." Back to Patia, who is taken to a vision of the schism. In front of her, she sees two primordials, one of fire and one of earth, Raushan and Kalmort, doing battle atop Mount Igora, the mountain in which they would be sealed forever. The druids built their temples atop this mountain in order to tend these runic seals that keep the primordials locked away. Eventually, the wizards would come to these druids and a bargain was struck. They would allow them to take the top of their mountain, but in exchange, they would receive a tithe of magic that would help flourish the land every year. As well, the druids would craft a magical tree, the Tree of Names. This tree would reside in Aabria, and as Aabria flew across the ley lines of Exandria, it would write a script, a magical spell across these ley lines, a tree that will scribe the names of those who should not enter Exandria. For almost 300 years, Aabria has been writing a spell across the surface of Exandria, protecting it from those who would wish to enter. As well, we learn that this druidic tribe will later become the Ishari, but to be fair, that one was pretty obvious. Unfortunately, as Patia is receiving this vision, suddenly Laerryn sees two barbs as sharp as swords fly from the tree, impaling Quay and Patia. Laerryn, in a rage, convinced the tree is the problem, casts Blight, thundering it apart. What remains is a fiery portal. Two hands reach through, pulling the portal apart, as the deformed face of Vespin Chloras looks through. The voice of Asmodeus rings forth, as the Lord of the Hells steps through into Exandria, his former home, and our episode ends. Holy shit, so what the fuck just happened? Obviously, the tree seems to be the main line of defense, preventing the betrayer gods from returning, as well as any other creature that wish to, enter into the material plane. With it gone and the betrayers free from their prison, they can now enter as they see fit. Was this Asmodeus and Vespin Korras' plan all along? Surely not, as we learned from those earlier memories. As well, what does Asmodeus want with Xerxes' blood? Remember, Xerxes made a kind of bargain with Asmodeus in his vision. Remember in episode 2, at the end, he told Asmodeus that he would fight along beside him, fight for him even, in exchange for, well, saving those he loved and cared about, sparing the mortals that he deems are his children. Now, whether Asmodeus is going to keep his side of the bargain is another question, most likely not, if we're being honest with ourselves. Also, why does Hollow and the Betrayers want Avenir to land? Well, we know that one of the Eldric's batteries that was destroyed bared 2 primordial symbols. We come to learn that these are the names Raushan and Kalmort, the 2 primordials that are sealed beneath Cathamoira. This then seems like the most obvious motive. The betrayer gods seem, to me at least, to want to release these 2 primordials. How they plan on doing so, I'm not sure. Obviously involves something to do with the city landing atop the mountain, probably something with the tree as well, I would imagine. I would imagine it would be something with their names, and obviously the solstice that is coming. Knowing Britain, though, something this obvious is never that quite simple, is it? This episode was truly epic. It had everything from action, combat, mystery, love, heartbreak, betrayal, inter-party conflict. It had it all. Everyone was on their A game, none so more than Aabria and Brennan, but let's be honest, when is Brennan not on his A game? The reveal of the mystery of Evandrin was so good, nothing brings out better RP than conflict RP in my opinion. The way the cast bounced off each other, revealing bits of information that obviously they didn't know, was so freaking good. It felt like I'm watching a Game of Thrones Lies. I really want to give Aabria big props here for sticking to her character's motivation and committing to her choice as a player. From Laerryn's perspective and thoughts, casting Blight on the tree was the best thing to do. She believes it's hurting her friends, as well as preventing her from achieving her life's goal and ambition. Unfortunately, she will now be known to the fans as the person who basically started the Calamity. I mean, I guess there could be worse things to be known for in the Critical Role universe, isn't that right, Ashley Birch? In all seriousness, though, it's annoying the fact that there's a small section of fans that would be toxic to another human being for their choices in a role-playing game. This baffles me. Roleplay isn't about winning or losing, it's about the experience, making decisions, living and reaping the consequences, having fun with your friends. If anything, if Laerryn had decided not to blast the tree, I'd say it was in conflict with everything we've learned about her character. She's a genius who's blinded by her ambition. In her wish to bring about the most good in the world, she's brought about its destruction. What better story could you ask for? As always, if you enjoyed the video and learned something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below, did you love this episode as much as I did, or are you freaking out? As well, what do you all think the Betrayer God's plan is? Do you think I'm right that they plan to release these sealed primordials? I guess we're gonna have to wait until next week's episode to find out. I hope to see you in the next one. Stay safe out there, guys. Peace, love, Adu.